What you choose to do today, even when you don't feel like it, listen closely, because this single choice, the action you take right now, determines the entire trajectory of your life. This small movement, this defiant step against comfort, becomes the starting point for your future success. You have to push yourself to take action. Think of yourself as a seed. You hold incredible potential, but you must break the shell of inertia to grow. There's a powerful saying that goes something like this: you don't need to be amazing to begin, but you absolutely need to begin to ever become amazing. We all have towering goals, burning dreams, and big things we want to accomplish. But let's be honest, sometimes that path forward feels like climbing a glass mountain, where every effort slides you back, and it just feels too hard to move forward. Tell me, have you ever felt utterly stuck? That dark, heavy weight of inaction, where you know exactly what needs to be done, but something inside, that voice of resistance, just won't let you do it? If that's you, hit the like button right now, and let me tell you the truth. You already have what it takes to break past those psychological barriers and get things done. You are stronger than your hesitation. And in this crucial video, I'm not just giving you advice, I'm handing you the master key. I'm going to show you 10 powerful ways to literally force yourself to take massive action and finally reach your most important goals. These aren't theories. These are practical, battle-tested steps you can actually use today to crush excuses. Stay razor-sharp focused and finally move forward. If this message resonates with your journey, please share this video with one person who needs to hear it. If you're ready to take absolute control of your narrative and turn that distant vision into a tangible reality, keep watching. Believe me, this moment right now, clicking play and absorbing this truth, this could be the beginning of real, unstoppable change. Let's start with this. Nobody's going to do it for you. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to chase your goals for you. And no one is going to lift you up every time you fall. It's on you. It always has been. That might sound tough, like a heavy burden, but I want you to really think about it. Isn't it profoundly empowering to know that your entire life is right now firmly in your own hands? Isn't it incredibly freeing to realize your future isn't based on chance or luck or someone else's fickle choices, but purely on your own calculated decisions and sustained effort? That's the undeniable beauty of this truth, my friend. It's entirely yours to shape. You've got to stop waiting for the mythical perfect time or the magical right person to suddenly appear and make your journey easy. Because waiting, I promise you, waiting is a deep, dangerous trap. The longer you wait to start that project, launch that idea, or make that change, the harder it becomes to begin. If you keep sitting around, passively hoping someone notices your potential or hoping the universe gives you a lucky break, you will absolutely stay stuck. And here is the hard truth you need to internalize. Potential means nothing without action. What truly matters, what separates the dreamers from the doers, is what you choose to do with the resources and abilities you've already got. You need to look in the mirror today and say it out loud. This is my responsibility. Now be honest with yourself. Ask, what specific goal have you been putting off while secretly hoping someone or something would magically make it easier? Is it finally starting your side business? Is it taking radical care of your health? Is it learning that new skill that could fundamentally change your life trajectory? The longer you delay taking that critical step, the heavier that goal feels. And trust me when I tell you, that regret down the road, that silent ache of what if, that'll hurt way, way more than the temporary discomfort of starting the work today. You might push back and say, but it's hard. It's genuinely difficult. Yes, it is. Anything worthwhile is hard. Success was never meant to be easy. If it were, everyone would have it. But that difficulty, that friction, that's what makes the victory so incredibly special. When you force yourself to get things done, even when every fiber of your being screams to stop, even when you don't feel like it, you are building a fortress of inner strength that nobody, and I mean nobody, can ever take from you. You prove to your own subconscious mind that you are fundamentally stronger than you thought, and that specific kind of self-belief, that concrete earned certainty, that is absolutely priceless. Now let's talk about the silent killer, excuses. They feel safe, don't they? Like a cozy blanket protecting you from reality. It's easy to whisper, "I'm too busy, I don't have enough resources," or the classic, "I'm just not ready." But let me be blunt. Excuses don't pay your bills. They don't build your future. They don't create tangible results. What gets things done, what moves the needle, is discipline, consistency, and relentless action. And the truly good news? You are 100% in control of all of those tools. You can learn them, forge them, and master them. So right now, commit to stop feeding your excuses and start fueling your goals. I won't pretend it's always going to be a smooth ride. Some days, the weight will feel immense. You'll feel tired, overwhelmed, or desperately tempted to quit. But I need you to understand, those are the days that matter most. Anyone can keep going when the path is easy. But true strength, the kind that forges empires and changes lives, shows up exactly when it's tough. And that strength, that unbreakable core, is already waiting inside you. If you are currently waiting for that massive wave of motivation to kick in, let me save you crucial time. Motivation is not reliable, it is a fickle visitor that comes and goes. What you need is the unshakable backbone of discipline. Discipline is the internal contract that gets you out of bed when you'd rather hit snooze and sleep. It's the iron will that keeps you focused when 1,000 distractions are screaming all around you. And it is the essential difference that separates those who succeed from those who sadly settle. Take charge of your life right now. Declare it. Decide that you're done waiting. Decide that the excuses and the self-sabotage stop here. Decide that you're going to do whatever it takes to get things done, because here's the kicker. Nobody on this planet is going to care about your goals more than you do, and that isn't a negative realization. It's the ultimate confirmation that you are in absolute control. You and only you decide how hard you work, how far you go, and how much you will grow. If the entire mission feels overwhelming, if the mountain looks too high, then start small. You don't need to conquer the world in one single day, but you do, absolutely, need to begin. Take that first micro-step, even if it feels terrifyingly uncomfortable. Push through the immediate resistance. Build the undeniable habit of showing up for yourself every single day. Over time, watch as the results compound. You'll see measurable progress, and most importantly, you will see yourself transforming into the kind of person who makes things happen. Remember this above all else. Your life is your responsibility, no one else's. It's your job to take massive action and make every moment count. So I urge you, stop waiting for permission, stop depending on others for validation or a boost, and start showing up for your future self. Force yourself to follow through, because the quality of your future depends entirely on the actions you take now. And trust me, when you look back from the summit, every single bit of that effort will have been worth it. Call to action. If you agree that potential means nothing without action, drop the word responsibility in the comments below. Now, here's step 2, the mechanism that turns intention into reality. Build a routine and stick to it. This isn't about trying only on the days when you happen to feel motivated. It's about being relentlessly consistent no matter what emotional state you're in. A routine isn't just a basic plan. It's the bedrock, the support system that keeps you steady, focused, and moving forward even when life gets chaotic and messy. The best part? A strong routine completely removes the exhausting need to overthink. When you've predefined exactly what to do and when to do it, you stop wasting precious time wondering if you should act. You just do it. Think about the highest achievers you admire, the athletes, the entrepreneurs, the creators. Do you truly believe they just wing it every day? No, they follow strict routines. Why? Because routines build foundational habits, and habits built one day at a time lead directly to massive results. When you commit to a routine, you are setting up a powerful base for steady, inevitable progress. Start by figuring out what is truly, fundamentally essential to you. What specific daily actions actually move your life forward toward your ultimate goal? Is it working out, sharpening your professional skills, dedicated studying, connecting with mentors, or learning something entirely new? Whatever those high-leverage activities are, you must write them down and make them crystal clear. Don't leave any room for guessing. A highly effective routine starts with brutal honesty about your true priorities. But here is a critical lesson. Make your routine realistic. It is so easy to create a perfect-looking plan on paper that is absolutely impossible to follow in real life. Don't fall into that perfection trap. The goal isn't to impress anyone. The goal is to build a system that actually works for you. Start unbelievably small if you need to. Focus on showing up consistently, not on trying to do everything all at once. A simple, functional plan you stick to faithfully is infinitely better than a perfect, complicated plan you can't maintain. Once your foundational routine is established, the next part is non-negotiable. Follow through. This is the graveyard where most potential stops. People begin with a burst of fiery energy, but the moment that initial excitement fades, they stop. Do not be that person. Treat your routine like a sacred personal agreement, a solemn promise you will not break, not even once. Your routine is the physical daily sign that you are deeply serious about your goals. If you give up on it, you are giving up on that promise to your future self. There will be days, many of them, when you feel tired, distracted, or just completely not in the mood. But, as we already established, those tough days matter the absolute most. That is the crucible where your commitment is truly tested. Anyone can show up when the wind is at their back. The real defining strength is sticking to that routine when it is brutally hard. To help yourself win, ruthlessly cut down on distractions. Create a physical and mental space that supports your routine, not one that constantly pulls you away from it. If you need to concentrate on deep work, you must remove the things that break your focus. Turn off the phone, close the extra tabs. If you're fundamentally working on your health, clear out the kitchen and fill it only with food that fuels you, instead of holding you back. Understand that your surroundings act as either a powerful support system for your progress or a constant slow drain. So, make them work for you. Another key step, and I cannot stress this enough, track your progress. One of the most effective ways to stay motivated for the long haul is by simply seeing the tangible evidence of how far you've come. Use a notebook, an app, or any system that helps you visualize your day-to-day consistency. Looking back at your logged effort doesn't just measure momentum, it builds momentum. It serves as a powerful reminder that you are capable of staying committed. But here's a massive critical reminder. Do not beat yourself up if you miss a day. Life happens. Unexpected turbulence occurs. What matters most is not achieving a perfect score. It is staying fiercely persistent. If you fall off the track, do not let that one missed day snowball into a full stop. Get back on track as soon as you physically can. One missed day does not define you. What defines you is how quickly and resiliently you bounce back. Your carefully crafted routine is the direct, visible link between where you are now and the life you desperately want to go. It is proof, day by consistent day, that you are serious about building the life you envisioned. So make that promise to yourself. Create the realistic, powerful routine and stick with it no matter what challenges arise. Because when all is said and done, your results will simply be a reflection of the routines you faithfully follow. If this part of the video has inspired you to commit to a routine, please subscribe for more content. Now, let's talk about the next destructive truth, the villain of procrastination. Waiting only steals your most valuable asset, time. Waiting might initially feel like the easy path, but it is the quickest, most irreversible way to waste your most limited resource, time. And the brutal fact is, the time you lose, that 24 hours that just passed, you don't ever get back. Every single minute you spend frozen, waiting for the perfect moment, the right mood, or an undeserved confidence boost is a minute that is gone forever. Here is the truth, etched in stone. Nothing improves while you wait. Waiting won't magically fix your complex problems. It won't help you grow. It won't create results. Only action can do that. Sitting around and passively waiting tells your brain a comforting lie, that perhaps tomorrow will be better or easier. But tomorrow is never guaranteed, and while you're standing still, your most important goals are being pushed further and further away. Worse, you start actively building the corrosive habit of putting things off, and once that habit takes root, it is incredibly tough to break. Think about this deeply. How much time have you already lost waiting? How many vital goals have been delayed, sitting on a shelf, simply because you convinced yourself you weren't ready? That realization can truly sting, but it is necessary. It's your immediate wake-up call. You cannot go back and retrieve the lost time, but you can choose radically differently right this very second. Will you keep putting things off, or will you start taking immediate action? Waiting feels safe because it might feel like you are avoiding failure, rejection, or judgment. But in reality, you are just holding your truest potential back. The longer you cling to that hesitation, the harder it becomes to start. The deep-seated fear grows, the excuses pile up like garbage, and before you know it, you've spent years in the exact same spot, doing the same draining things, stuck in the same cycle of mediocrity. Let's be real about this. Waiting isn't safety. It is standing still on a fast-moving train. So, right now, I demand you ask yourself, what do you want most? Is it financial freedom, incredible health, deeper relationships, or total mastery in your chosen craft? Whatever that ultimate goal is, you will not reach it by standing still. The distance between where you are now and where you desperately want to be can only be closed, millimeter by millimeter, with action. Every single day you hesitate is a day you could have been moving forward, improving and growing. Why do most people wait? The answer is simple and ancient. Fear. Fear of messing up, fear of looking foolish, or the crippling fear that you're simply not good enough. But listen to this liberating truth. Fear doesn't disappear by waiting. It only fades, diminishes, and finally vanishes when you face it head-on. Taking action is the only proven cure for fear. The very moment you start moving, the fear starts shrinking. Stop convincing yourself that you need to have every single detail figured out before you take the first step. You absolutely do not. Look at the evidence. Most successful people started before they felt ready. They figured it out as they went, adapting to the terrain. The process itself taught them. The mistakes they made taught them invaluable lessons. Waiting for the perfect moment is just another disguise, another elaborate excuse to avoid doing the necessary work. And the essential truth, the real, lasting growth happens in the work. Time, as we established, is your most limited resource. You can always earn more money. You can learn new skills. You can even rebuild broken relationships. But once time is gone, it is absolutely gone for good. So, for the sake of your future self, do not waste it by waiting. Do not let another day pass without taking one concrete step toward what truly matters to you. Here is the mantra you need to adopt from this moment on. Starting doesn't require you to be perfect. It doesn't mean having the whole 10-year plan figured out. It simply means having the courage to take that first step, even if it's a small one. One small, consistent step leads to the next, and before long, you start building unstoppable momentum. But none of that power can be realized if you stay paralyzed in the cycle of waiting. You may try to soothe yourself, telling yourself, "I'll begin when I have more time," or "I'll start once I feel more confident." These thoughts, my friend, are nothing more than comfortable lies we use to cling to our safe zone. The brutal truth is that the perfect time does not exist. The conditions for starting won't ever be just right. You have to move forward despite the imperfections and the uncertainty. You have to be the force that creates your own momentum. Waiting holds you back from becoming the magnificent person you could be. It traps you in the crippling habit of telling yourself, "Maybe someday." But here is the uncompromising reality check. Someday is not printed on any calendar in the world. All you truly have, all you can leverage, is now. This day, this exact moment, this specific opportunity, do not waste it. If there is one thing you have been procrastinating on, make the commitment to take the first step today. If there is a huge dream you've been waiting years to chase, begin the journey now. Even one small, imperfect action is monumentally better than doing absolutely nothing. When you finally accept that waiting guarantees you nothing but regret, you free yourself from the false idea that you'll magically feel ready later on. Understand this forever. Readiness is not a feeling, it is a decision. Choose to take action today, even if it feels clumsy, uncertain, or utterly imperfect. Because your future self, that person you are fighting for, is counting on the choices you make right now. They are depending on you to move forward, to make the messy effort that shapes a far better life down the road. Do not let them down. Don't look back years from now, lost in regret, and wonder what incredible life could have happened if you had just taken that first, fearful step sooner. Let's move on to something powerful. Something that transforms tragedy into triumph, using your pain as motivation. Pain is a universal currency, something we all face in different ways. It might come from soul-crushing loss, the sting of repeated failure, the betrayal of being let down by someone you trusted, or that deeply personal, heavy feeling of never measuring up to your own standard. But here is the critical, important part. Pain can either tear you down, reducing you to ash, or it can forge you in fire and push you fiercely forward. It's entirely about how you choose to deal with it. If you handle it right, if you grab that pain and redirect its energy, it can become the unyielding fuel that drives you to grow beyond what you ever thought was possible. Take a quiet moment right now to truly think about the raw, painful moments in your life. Maybe you still feel the sting of falling short of a massive goal. Maybe you regret the time you wasted or the moment you trusted someone who utterly let you down. Whatever that source of emotional weight is, face it. Do not hide from it. Do not dare try to numb that ache or pretend it doesn't hurt. Pain is undeniably real, and the foundational first step toward turning that burden into lasting power is to confront it directly. A lot of people instinctively try to run from pain by distracting themselves or desperately pushing it aside. But doing that only keeps it hidden in the background, a silent, corrosive force quietly affecting every choice you make. Ignoring pain doesn't erase it, it just gives it silent control. Instead of desperately running from that painful emotion, use it. Let it serve as a fierce, clear reminder of exactly what you never want to feel again. Let that feeling light a fire inside you, a refusal to settle, to do better, to grow stronger, and ultimately to rise completely above your circumstances. Pain has a unique power. It sharpens your focus. When you are hurting, you finally begin to see what truly matters. You notice precisely what needs to change in your life. You become acutely aware of the bad habits, the draining people, and the limiting patterns that have been secretly holding you back. Use that painful awareness, that newfound clarity, to create something significantly better. Set goals that matter to you and chase them with everything you've got. Pain can make you powerful if you deliberately allow it to. Each time you face it head-on, you build profound inner strength. Every single time you pick yourself up after being knocked down by life, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. And every time you rise, you grow. Real growth, the kind that lasts, doesn't happen when things are easy. It happens when you keep pushing through discomfort, through effort, and through inevitable setbacks. Look at the most successful people in any field. They didn't arrive there without pain. They stumbled, they failed, and they certainly got rejected. But instead of letting that pain stop them, they used it as leverage. They let it fuel their determination to keep going and become even better. And my friend, you can do the exact same thing. Pain, when channeled the right way, can infuse you with a strong sense of purpose. If you've gone through tough times, you intimately know what it feels like to be at your lowest. You know what it's like to want to surrender and give up. Use that deep understanding to propel you forward. Let it help you connect authentically with others who are struggling. Pain helps you relate to people in a powerful human way that nothing else can achieve. Don't let your pain be the final crushing chapter. Let it be the definitive reason a new, powerful chapter begins. Let it be the force behind every ounce of your effort, the reason you refuse to give in, and the unique fuel that keeps you moving relentlessly when everyone else quits. Pain is not a sign that you are weak. It is proof that you are alive, that you are human, and that you possess the inherent strength to rise again. When you make the conscious decision to use your pain as motivation, you immediately stop being a victim of your circumstances. You become the undeniable author of your future. Your pain doesn't define who you are, but how you choose to respond to it does. You might not have chosen the unfair challenges you faced, but you absolutely get to choose what you do next. Let your pain remind you of your core strength. Let it remind you that there is a fire inside of you that refuses to quit. Let it be the reason you jump out of bed in the morning and keep fighting for the incredible life you want. The immediate pain you feel right now won't last forever, but the exponential strength and growth it can lead to, that can last a lifetime. Think about the battles you've already won. Wouldn't it feel utterly amazing to look back one day and know that you turned your hardest moments into something meaningful? That you didn't let the pain break you, but instead used it to build the best, most resilient version of yourself? If you are ready to turn your struggle into strength, please comment "Fuel" below. Now let's talk about something just as important, perhaps even more urgent: cutting out excuses completely. Excuses might seem small, almost insignificant, but they are powerful enough to stop your hard-earned progress cold. They sound so innocent, like little, reasonable justifications for why you didn't follow through. But in reality, they are the silent, insidious enemies of progress and dreams. If you are truly serious about fundamentally changing your life, you have to face this uncomfortable truth. Excuses are currently holding you back. Every time you pull out an excuse, you are actively choosing to settle. You are choosing your temporary comfort zone over your permanent growth. You are avoiding responsibility and willingly giving up control. When you reflexively say, "I don't have time," what you are truly admitting is, "This isn't important enough to me right now." When you claim, "I'm not ready," what you are really saying is, "I'm afraid to try." And here is the profound reality. You can overcome fear, you can make time for what matters, but this only happens if you stop letting excuses run the show. Excuses might initially feel like protection, but they are truthfully just barriers keeping you locked away from your immense potential. They offer you a cheap way to avoid effort and responsibility while pretending it's not your fault. But deep down, where it matters, you know better. You know that real, lasting progress requires real honesty, and that clarity begins with admitting when you have been standing squarely in your own way. Excuses can feel like a safety net, but really, they're just a cage. Think honestly about the last few times you made excuses. Be real with yourself. Were those excuses genuinely valid, based on immutable facts, or were they just a convenient way to avoid something hard or uncomfortable? In the vast majority of cases, excuses are deeply rooted in fear. Fear of failing, fear of being judged, or the fear that you're simply not good enough. But remember the truth. Fear only has power if you give it permission to dominate you. The very moment you take purposeful action, despite feeling afraid, that fear immediately starts to lose its suffocating grip. Getting rid of excuses for good starts with a powerful act, taking full responsibility. Own your actions, own your choices, own your results. Stop blaming the circumstances, stop pointing fingers at other people or crying about bad luck. Be brutally honest and say, "This is on me." It might sting sharply at first, but that is precisely where your true power is unlocked. Once you take genuine responsibility, you are no longer passively at the mercy of everything around you. You are back in control. Excuses often sound logical. They expertly disguise themselves as good reasons. You might think, "Today is already halfway over, so I'll just start tomorrow." Or, "I can't possibly begin because I don't have the perfect tools yet." Or the perpetual stall, "I'll finally focus when life calms down." These thoughts seem reasonable on the surface, but they are nothing but calculated delays. The truth remains, the perfect time doesn't exist. Waiting only guarantees that you waste more time. The absolute best time to begin was yesterday. The next best time is right now. Instead of manufacturing excuses, you must immediately start finding solutions. If you catch yourself saying, "I don't have the time," take a rigorous, honest look at your day. Can you wake up earlier? Can you ruthlessly cut out distractions? Can you be more efficient and focused with the time you already have? And if you say, "I don't know how," commit fiercely to learning. The required information, the blueprint, is out there waiting. If you're willing to make the effort, you will figure it out. Eliminating excuses is not easy. It demands discipline, but it is absolutely worth every sacrifice. Discipline is the engine that gets you out of bed when you crave sleep. It is the force that helps you stay focused when your mind desperately wants to wander. It is what pushes you forward precisely when quitting feels easier. The more discipline you intentionally build, the less physical and mental space there is for excuses to survive. One of the most potent weapons to destroy excuses is to constantly remind yourself of why you started. Why does this specific goal matter to you so profoundly? Why is it important enough to sacrifice comfort? When your why is clear, powerful, and deeply meaningful, excuses start to sound incredibly weak and pathetic. If your goal is to dramatically change your life, provide true support for your family, or reach a deep, meaningful achievement, then no excuse should ever be strong enough to stop you. Cutting out excuses also necessitates being completely honest about what you truly value. If something is genuinely important to you, you will find a way, no matter the obstacles. If it's not, you will simply find an elaborate excuse. Ask yourself this question every morning. How badly do I want this outcome? If the answer is a lot, then let no excuse stand in your way. Excuses might feel like comfort, but I promise you, growth doesn't happen in comfort. Progress demands effort, rigid discipline, and often significant discomfort. But the rewards, real growth, lasting success, and fierce pride are worth every single challenge. When you finally stop making excuses, you blast open a universe of possibilities. You begin to see exactly what you are capable of. You realize the only thing truly limiting you is you. With enough consistent effort, sharp focus, and unshakable belief, you can push through almost anything. Picture this future moment, looking back at your entire life one day and knowing with deep satisfaction that you genuinely gave it your absolute all, knowing that you didn't let those flimsy excuses hold you down, knowing that you refused to settle for good enough when you knew you were capable of more. That feeling, that powerful sense of deep, earned pride, is worth every single struggle along the way. So stop making excuses today. Replace them immediately with action. Own your difficult, beautiful journey. The only thing standing between you and the extraordinary life you want is the excuse you are currently making right now. Please take a moment to subscribe and share this life-changing message. Now let's move to the next key idea: overcoming resistance by building a strong, flexible mindset. Resistance is that invisible, sneaky force that constantly pushes back the moment you try to make genuine progress. It's that familiar, insidious feeling that screams, "Quit now, this is too hard." Everyone feels it. No one on earth is immune to it. But what decisively separates people who succeed from those who stay permanently stuck is how they choose to deal with that resistance. To defeat resistance, you require a solid, unyielding mindset. A mindset that doesn't just fall apart under pressure, but one that instinctively rises to meet the challenge. Resistance can manifest in many deceptive forms. Sometimes it sounds like paralyzing doubt, constantly telling you you're not capable. Sometimes it looks like clever procrastination, whispering, "You can always do it later." Other times it's just plain physical exhaustion, making you crave stopping everything. No matter how it manifests, resistance is fundamentally there to test how badly you actually want your goal. And the only way to win this eternal war is to relentlessly push through it. It all begins with establishing a clear, concrete reason. Ask yourself and answer truthfully, why am I doing this? Your answer must be so robust, so powerful, that it can effortlessly carry you through the hardest, darkest days. If your why is weak, resistance will always win. But if your reason is solid, deeply felt and meaningful, it will become the supreme fuel that ignites you when everything else tells you to give up. Preparation is your powerful shield. Resistance feels exponentially stronger when you are caught unprepared. If you're working on something big, break it into smaller tasks. That simple action makes the entire mission feel doable instead of utterly overwhelming. Always have a clear, written plan so you know precisely what to do when that wave of resistance hits. When you are meticulously prepared, resistance loses a massive amount of its power. Your internal thoughts play a massive, definitive role. If you perpetually keep telling yourself, "I can't do this, it's impossible," you have already lost the battle before you started. But if you intentionally change the script to, "I can handle this," you instantly create a mindset that actively looks for solutions instead of fixating on problems. Positive self-talk isn't just fluffy motivation, it is intense brain training. When resistance inevitably shows up, take a moment and remind yourself of the extreme challenges you've already faced and crushed. You've endured tough things before. You've already made it this far, so you absolutely can keep going. Focus is your greatest strength in the face of resistance. The more laser-like you focus on the single task that needs to be done, the less mental room there is for distractions or self-doubt. You need to deliberately create an environment that actively supports your goals. This may require turning off your phone, setting necessary boundaries with demanding people, or setting up a dedicated, quiet space where you can think clearly and deeply. The sharper your focus, the easier it becomes to effectively break through the barrier of resistance. And most importantly, be patient with the process. Building robust mental strength is not an overnight transformation. It's exactly like building a muscle. You have to train it consistently. The more often you intentionally push through discomfort, the more resilient and unbreakable you become. Resistance won't vanish completely, but your personal ability to handle it gets significantly stronger every single time you choose not to give in. Be patient with yourself, yes, but never let that patience morph into standing still. Keep taking purposeful steps forward, even if they are infinitesimally small. Progress might feel frustratingly slow sometimes, but every step you take systematically weakens the resistance holding you back. You must learn to lean into discomfort. Resistance grows stronger when you try desperately to avoid pain, difficulty, or uncertainty. But you know the truth. Real growth happens when you face those exact things head-on. The more routinely you challenge yourself in uncomfortable moments, the more resilient you become. You will start to deeply understand that discomfort is temporary and doesn't last forever, but the incredible rewards of pushing through it do. Resistance often hits hardest right before you're about to achieve a major breakthrough. It is the final, brutal obstacle placed there to test exactly how committed you really are. This is the exact point where the vast majority of people give up. But this is precisely when you need to dig deep, deeper than ever before, and keep going. Remind yourself that every single bit of effort you expend is bringing you undeniably closer to your goal. Do not stop now. Surround yourself with people who actively help you stay strong. A truly powerful mindset isn't built in isolation. Seek out people who push you to be better, who genuinely encourage your efforts, and who unwaveringly believe in your inherent potential. When resistance feels overwhelming and crushing, having those trusted people in your corner can make a life-altering difference. Another fantastic way to strengthen your mind is to consistently practice gratitude. Resistance constantly attempts to make you focus only on everything that is difficult or everything you're currently missing. But when you consciously choose to focus on what you do have and just how far you've already come, it becomes fundamentally easier to stay motivated. Gratitude helps you zoom out and remember the profound reason why you embarked on this path in the first place. Getting past resistance is always a choice. It's never fun or easy, but it is absolutely essential if you want to reach the highest level of your goals. A strong mindset doesn't mean you avoid resistance. It means you simply don't let it stop you. It means making the choice to act even when you truly don't feel like it. It means having the fierce internal resolve to refuse to quit no matter how difficult or painful things get. Keep this perspective. Resistance is always temporary. It may feel impossibly massive while you're battling it. But it is not permanent. It is merely a bump in the long road, not a permanent, impenetrable wall. The more consistently you push through it, the stronger you become, and the easier it gets to face the next inevitable challenge. Every time you beat resistance, you decisively prove to yourself that you are capable of exponentially more than you ever thought possible. If you feel this inner fire burning, hit the bell notification so you don't miss future mindset videos. Now, let's talk about something just as important. Cutting out distractions from your surroundings. If you genuinely want to accomplish anything meaningful in this world, you need absolute focus. But focus becomes nearly impossible, like chasing smoke, when you're constantly surrounded by distractions. They systematically drain your precious time, your vital energy, and your limited attention. They are relentless forces that pull you far away from your goals, and before you realize it, hours or even days go by with nothing meaningful accomplished. To overcome resistance and stay powerfully productive, you desperately need to create an environment that actively helps you stay focused. The first step is a simple, sobering realization. Distractions are everywhere. They can stem from noise, demanding people, relentless technology, or even the subtle static of your own thoughts. The modern world is a battlefield, full of things fighting desperately for your attention, and it's devastatingly easy to get pulled into them. But if you are truly serious about achieving your goals, you need to recognize distractions for what they really are. Barriers standing directly between you and the life you want. Start by meticulously examining your physical space. Look around your workspace. What is actively distracting you? Is it a messy desk, a disorganized room, an uncomfortable, ergonomically poor chair? These seemingly minor things can constantly pull your mind away from what truly matters. You cannot logically expect to maintain sharp focus while operating in chaos. You must clean up your space and configure it in a way that helps you concentrate. An organized, comfortable, minimalist environment fundamentally creates the correct mindset for taking immediate action. Next, you must ruthlessly deal with digital distractions. Your phone, computer, and other devices are loaded with temptations that can steal your focus in mere seconds. Social media alerts, incessant messages, emails, just the constant temptation to check notifications can derail your entire workflow. Set firm limits, turn off notifications, close every single tab you don't need for the task at hand. Choose specific scheduled times to check your phone or email instead of letting them constantly interrupt your deep workflow. When it's time to work, you must be fully present. Create dedicated space in your schedule and your mind for deep focus. People can also, regrettably, be a significant source of distraction. If you're often around people who interrupt you or who actively don't support your goals, it may be time to set strong boundaries. Clearly, let them know your focus time is crucial and that you require periods without interruptions. If possible, find a quiet, protected space to work where you simply won't be pulled into side conversations or activities. Listen, it is absolutely okay to protect your time. Your ambitious goals deserve that fundamental respect. Crucially, sometimes the biggest distractions come from within. Your own racing thoughts can be the biggest source of mental noise. Worries about the uncertain future, crippling doubts about your own abilities, overwhelming stress about what's currently not working. These internal mental distractions can mercilessly drain your energy and steal your attention. That is why mental clarity is so profoundly important. Practice methods to calmly manage your mind. Whether it's through simple mindfulness, consistent meditation, or just taking a few intentional deep breaths, when your mind is calm, it is dramatically easier to focus on the task in front of you. Creating a truly distraction-free environment does not happen magically overnight. It requires sustained effort and intentional planning. You need to firmly commit to your goals and actively take control of your surroundings. But the transformative reward is worth every second of effort. Once you start removing the endless noise around you, you will immediately notice that your focus gets sharper, your productivity significantly improves, and your progress speeds up exponentially. One incredibly powerful method to reduce distractions is through wise time planning. Techniques like time blocking, setting aside specific, immovable chunks of your day for specific tasks, helps you stay rigidly on track. When you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing, it's much easier to stay focused and avoid the temptation of distractions. A well-structured, disciplined schedule leaves far less space for interruptions to sneak in and sabotage you. You can also strategically use tools that support your focus, such as apps that block distracting websites, timers to keep you on task, or project trackers to help you stay fully organized. These tools function as reliable support systems, constantly reminding you of what needs to get done and keeping you accountable to your higher goals. Finally, ensure your goals are crystal clear. When you have a precise understanding of what you are working toward, distractions instantly lose their power. They stop feeling tempting because you deeply understand that they are only slowing down your ascent. A clear, burning purpose gives you the essential motivation to stay fiercely focused and ignore the surrounding noise. And never forget this vital truth: rest is an integral part of the process. Working yourself into total exhaustion doesn't help you move faster. It actually slows you down considerably. When your energy is completely drained, your sharp focus fades, and it becomes much harder to get meaningful things done. Taking strategic breaks and ensuring you get proper sleep isn't a sign of laziness, it's a critical strategy for performance. A rested mind is sharper, clearer, and infinitely more productive. Building a distraction-free environment is not just a pleasant concept, it is absolutely essential if you want to succeed at the highest level. You have to guard and protect your focus like it is your greatest asset, because in truth it is. Distractions are sneaky. They will try every tactic to pull you away from your determined path. But when you consciously take control of your surroundings, you fundamentally take control of your results. Let's move on to something that hits deeper, using the pain of doing nothing as motivation. Avoiding action might feel momentarily safe in the moment, but I need you to understand that over time it chips away mercilessly at your confidence, erodes your potential, and ultimately sabotages your future. It is the silent killer that brings regret, crushing frustration, and that heavy, sinking feeling that you're not living up to the powerful purpose you're truly capable of. And believe me, there's no pain in this world quite like knowing deep in your soul that you could have done so much more but consciously chose not to. The chilling thing about inaction is that it's subtle, it's insidious. It doesn't slam into you all at once like a physical blow. It creeps in slowly like a poison, normalizing stagnation. It doesn't leave a visible bruise, but it leaves a profound, crippling emotional scar. The more you delay, the longer you sit frozen, the harder it becomes to begin. You get trapped in the illusion of comfort, a beautiful lie, constantly telling yourself it's fine to wait, to stay put, to rest a little longer. But that comfort is utterly false. It's not the peace that comes from progress, it's the silence of avoidance. And this silence comes with a terrible, non-negotiable cost. Every single opportunity you don't take, every chance you let pass by, is one you may truly never get back. Think honestly about the chances you've missed simply because you hesitated. Chances to grow, to improve your legacy, to move forward. Each time you choose an action, you surrender a moment that could have taken you measurably closer to your goals. And one day, when that raw reality crashes down, it will hit hard. The pain of inaction isn't loud like an explosion, but it lingers like a chronic disease. It's the quiet, haunting voice that whispers, "You could have done more." That's why you need to flip the script entirely. Grab that pain, that regret, and use it as a powerful, immediate wake-up call. Let it violently push you forward. Do not let it paralyze you. The sting of regret, that is your signal. It's screaming at you, telling you what truly matters. This is not just about finishing a single task. It's about absolutely avoiding the devastating pain of wondering, what if? Later on, the longer you sit still, the more that soul-crushing regret builds. And trust me, that weight of regret will weigh exponentially more than any short-term challenge you'd face by taking action today. Doing nothing, choosing inertia, leads inevitably to settling. You start tragically accepting your situation as good enough and stop daring to dream of anything better. That is dangerous. That is exactly how dreams slowly die. Slowly, without a fight, you convince yourself it's okay to stay where you are. But deep down, you know the truth. You know you're meant for far, far more. So instead of fixating on how hard it will be to act, you must focus on the terrifying price it will cost you not to act. Think long-term. See the horizon. Where will your life be in a year if you keep delaying this important work? What about in 5 years? Will you be powerfully closer to where you want to be, or still stuck in the same miserable cycle, frustrated and filled with regret? That quiet, haunting pain of not doing anything, let that be your fuel source. Let it remind you constantly that even the smallest, most clumsy action is a massive victory over staying still. The immediate discomfort of showing up, of starting, of trying, it's temporary. But the catastrophic pain of never starting at all, that lasts a lifetime. The road to anything truly meaningful, anything that builds a legacy, is paved only with consistent action. You cannot possibly get to that desired destination if you are too afraid to take the first trembling step. So when you feel that nauseating ache of inaction, that weight in your chest from knowing you're standing still, use it immediately. Let it light a fire deep in your spirit. Remind yourself that this journey is bigger than right now. You're not just moving for today, you are meticulously building your future, a future that is absolutely worth pushing through every second of discomfort for. Do not let the pain of doing nothing win this battle. Turn that emotional weight into usable fuel. Don't let it freeze you in place. Let it relentlessly drive you. And when you finally look back from the summit, you will be profoundly grateful for the bold steps you took. You'll be fiercely proud of the moments you showed up for yourself, even when it was unbearably hard. You won't even remember the fear. You'll remember the fight and the victory. Call to action. If you have experienced the pain of inaction, share your story in the comments below. Let us turn that energy into collective fire. And now, here's another key to staying consistently unbreakable. Remind yourself constantly of the magnificent future you're working toward. When you are deep in the middle of the unforgiving grind, covered in sweat and doubt, it is devastatingly easy to forget the powerful why that started you. The work feels endless, the effort feels heavy, and you start to whisper, is this even worth it? But that, my friend, is the critical moment when you need to bring your ultimate vision sharply back into focus. Picture your goal, not just as a static achievement, but as your end result, your new reality. What does true success look and feel like for you? What does the liberated life you want truly feel like to wake up in? What kind of courageous, unstoppable person do you become once you achieve it? Visualize it in stunning detail. See the milestones, the absolute freedom, the deep, earned pride. That vibrant picture in your mind must become your ultimate sustained fuel. When things feel overwhelming, when you are tired, beaten down, and losing motivation, remind yourself immediately of what all this intense effort is for. Remind yourself that every single drop of sweat, every hour spent focused, every obstacle you powerfully overcome is moving you closer to that sacred vision. It's not just about finishing the task. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be. Losing sight of your destination is the vulnerability where doubt begins to creep in. That's when you start asking, is this battle really worth the cost? But if the goal still holds meaning for you, and I know it does, then yes, every single bit of effort is worth it. Keep that future, successful version of yourself in mind. The one who possessed the discipline and refused to quit. The one who pushed through the chaos and made it. Let that powerful vision carry you forward. Every single step you take, no matter how tiny, is undeniable progress. It relentlessly brings you closer to where you need to be. When things start to feel difficult, remind yourself of that profound truth. Don't get stuck focusing only on the struggle and the pain. Focus on the glorious outcome. Focus on who you're transforming into by staying committed. Think about the amazing opportunities that will finally open up and the deep sense of absolute pride you'll feel once you've followed through on what you set out to achieve. It's not just about reaching the goal, it's about growing exponentially through the process. You are actively developing unshakable inner strength. You're learning priceless, valuable skills. You're building concrete confidence. Every sacrifice you make, every setback you absorb, every tough day you endure is actively helping you become stronger, more capable, and far more determined. When you hold on to that truth, The short-term pain starts to feel incredibly worth it because you know it's shaping you into someone who doesn't just quit, someone who always finishes what they start. The most vital key is to keep your end goal vividly alive in your mind. Make it so crystal clear that it spontaneously fuels you when motivation inevitably fades. Don't only think about the external rewards. Think about how magnificent it will feel internally to know with absolute certainty that you gave it your all. The feeling of finishing something you deeply committed to is one of the most satisfying feelings in the human experience. Let that profound feeling be what keeps you moving on the days when the weight feels heaviest. When you know where you are going and you truly understand the reward waiting for you on the other side, every challenge instantly becomes part of the path, never a reason to stop. Obstacles won't discourage you as easily because you'll know they're just temporary, fleeting parts of the magnificent journey. That destination you're working toward, it remains there, waiting. And with every intentional effort, you're getting closer. Here's another profound truth. The journey doesn't actually end once you hit your goal. Reaching that first milestone only gives you the necessary strength, resilience, and experience to go even further. What you are meticulously building now is the powerful foundation for absolutely everything that comes next. So when the road gets tough, you must hold on to your vision of success like a lifeline. Keep it close to your heart. Let it pull you forward like an engine when you feel like quitting. Remember, success doesn't emerge from a single random burst of effort. It's built through consistent action, constant laser focus, and the discipline to keep going even when you don't feel like it. But when you stay connected to what you're fiercely working for, when you really feel that ultimate vision, the weight of the work starts to feel miraculously lighter. You gain instant clarity, and that clarity helps you keep moving, no matter how tough the climb. So, take the time right now to imagine it. Really picture what you're working toward. The freedom, the fulfillment, the glorious moment of knowing you did it. Every challenge, every ounce of effort, every single long day, it all relentlessly adds up to something meaningful. Keep that bigger picture fixed in your mind. Don't let setbacks or distractions take your focus away. What you're working toward is worth every bit of your concentrated effort. Now let's talk about something just as important for maintaining momentum, rewarding yourself purposefully for your progress. One of the biggest mistakes people make when chasing a massive goal is waiting until they cross the finish line to finally feel proud. But if you want to stay motivated, energized, and keep up unstoppable momentum, you need to recognize and honor the wins along the way. Every step forward counts, even the small ones, because they are the essential building blocks the big wins are made of. It's easy to focus only on the final goal and forget how much tireless work is going into getting there. But success, true success, is built from a series of small, consistent efforts. Every time you check something vital off your list, learn a new skill, or reach a small milestone, it's a win. And those wins fundamentally deserve to be acknowledged. Celebrating progress doesn't mean you're being lazy or getting comfortable. It means you are strategically staying motivated. When you take a brief moment to appreciate what you've achieved, you strongly reinforce the habits that lead to success. You're powerfully reminding yourself that the hard work is paying off. These little celebrations help you keep going, especially when things feel slow or tough. So when you hit a mini goal, pause, appreciate it, give yourself credit. Maybe it's a small treat, a break, or just a quiet moment of pride. Whatever it is, allow yourself to enjoy it. These rewards create necessary emotional momentum. They remind you that you're getting closer step by intentional step. The key is consistency. You don't need a reward for every single task, but acknowledge every meaningful step forward. The more frequently you do this, the more naturally inspired you'll feel to keep pushing. Celebrating also grants you a chance to reflect on how far you've courageously come. It dramatically boosts your confidence and reminds you that you can keep going. It also helps keep your mindset in a good place. If you're always focused on how far you still have to go without recognizing what you've already done, you'll start feeling discouraged. But when you take a moment to recognize your growth, you reset your mind, you give yourself the energy and clarity to continue strong. This isn't about spoiling yourself. It's about maintaining essential balance. It's about powerfully reinforcing the behavior that consistently gets results. When your brilliant brain links effort directly with something positive, you are far more likely to repeat that behavior. The mind craves rewards. It's the bedrock of how habits are formed. So the more you pair hard, focused work with a defined, rewarding moment, the easier it becomes to stay consistent. Think of it like this. Every time you finish a difficult task and follow it with a reward, you're teaching yourself the profound lesson that effort brings results. That connection makes it easier to tackle the next task and the one after that. Over time, this creates momentum. It builds discipline, and it turns grinding effort into a powerful, natural rhythm. But remember this final, most important point. Not every reward has to be external or physical. One of the most powerful rewards is entirely internal. That deep sense of earned pride, that quiet satisfaction of knowing you gave your absolute best, that you stayed focused, stayed consistent, and kept growing, that feeling fuels something even greater, long-term, unbreakable resilience. So don't you dare wait until the hypothetical end to feel proud. Celebrate the challenging journey. Every step matters. Every bit of hard-won progress is concrete proof that you are firmly on the right, essential path. When you take the time to acknowledge how far you've come, you'll feel more energized and motivated to keep going. And that, my friend, is precisely how you build momentum, confidence, and ultimate success, one meaningful, powerful step at a time. Now get out there and make it happen. Subscribe, leave a comment telling me your next immediate action step, and remember to protect your focus above all else.